Okay, guys. You know, back when we first started doing this stream over a year ago, I promised everyone that, you know, I would continue to try to be as professional as we could possibly be and continuously try to improve the stream. So hopefully you guys will hear a little bit of a difference. I made a lot of noise gate adjustments. Didn't necessarily fix the noise floor from the cables, but I figured I have 48 noise gates. Let's use some of them. I want to open up the chat because Linnell is taking a nap, so she is not with us right now. But I want to show everyone the guitar I've been working on. I'm going to attempt to get this slid over. Yeah, it kind of cuts off the... All right, it's close enough. If you guys have watched the channel, you know Linnell bought a really pretty blue Ibanez RGA. And I bought this one. I liked her RGA so much, you know, and at the price point, I'm like, I need one of those guitars. Now, Devastator said, you know, if you update the pickups, you're not going to stick with them. You like the Quantums. And this guitar comes stock from Ibanez with Quantum pickups. I do like the Quantum pickups. I think for a sub, well, actually, they use them on guitars 750 and under. And then the lowest price point, I think, is about $400. And then they put their cheaper pickup in, which I'm not a big fan of. We just did an Iceman review. If you want to hear the cheaper Ibanez pickups, I think they're a little muddy, but keep in mind, they're using those pickups in their $200 to $450 guitars. And this kind of hits in between. It is in a model that is a little bit below $400. It's at the $399 is the cheapest I've seen a guitar come with the Quantums. And there's only like one or two models at that price point. So they do interlap a little bit. I put guitar head pickups in this, and I really do like the color of these pickups. The cream pickup really fits in with this cream color in the grain. It looks sharp. And then the black bobbin matches the hardware. We also upgraded the bridge. This is Hipshot's extra tall bridge. It's the solid brass taller bridge. This is the 0.175 high mass. And I put Gotoh's high-end locking tuners on it. These are the MGTs. And in the back, you can see that we have some trick wiring. When I say it's tight, look at this one right, the first potentiometer next to the jack. It rubs both sides of the route. Okay, right here. It's tight. It's tight. But it does fit. And then both are push-pulls. So I want to kind of go over what the push-pulls do. This one's pretty simple. So this push-pull here takes this pickup and turns it to a single coil. Now, Guitar Heads doesn't actually drop it. It's still using a third of the winds on this pickup. So it still makes it noise canceling. And then when you pull this one, it does the exact same thing here. And the predominant coils are the outside coils, and it uses 1/3 of the coil in the center. We are running tonight to demo, to keep things consistent. We are running the tube amp, the big rack unit on your right-hand side of your screen, the big Pro Valve power amp. It's 4 6L6s. The main preamp that you're hearing tonight is a hybrid. We are using the Friedman BEDLX that you see with the green light on, and that is going into, believe it or not, a solid state and tube preamp in the ART. And I'm only using those for color. There's no gain. The digital effects are going out of the ART and then to the rack tube preamp that you see below the ART, the silver unit. And they are just, all that's doing is warming up the digital signal. Okay, on my second effects loop, all that's doing is going down to the 362 BBE. That's directly between that preamp and the power amp. And we've been playing with it. I've been trying to get a better sound. So I want to let everyone listen to this guitar. These pickups are not expensive. I got both of these pickups. These are the Guitar Head Z Buckers. No, these are the Hex Buckers. We used the Z Buckers in the last guitar. The Z Buckers are really a good pickup. The Hex Buckers are too. These are a little bit more output and a little bit more saturation in them versus the Z Bucker. So the kind of music that I play, I thought it would be better served to do this particular pickup combination. I do a lot of rock and roll on this, so I figured that the Hex Buckers would be a better fit. We're going to start out in the bridge position. I am going to turn off this mic because it does influence it. I did try to gate it out. It does work. I can use the gate to kill that, but then when I speak into it, I sound like a robot because it's cutting on, cutting off, cutting on. And you can hear I do not have one of the gates quite right over here because it's clicking back and forth. So as I talk, I didn't think about that. That increases the noise floor. So I'll need to make another adjustment on my gate settings. All right, let's quit the chatting and let's hear what this thing sounds like. I'm going to go over to my mic. I'm going to cut this mic off, and all you're going to hear is the 3 mics over there. It's quite stupid sounding. I'm digging it. If you guys listened, we demoed a Jupe's guitar last night. It had DiMarzio's, one DiMarzio Area 51, one stock Schecter pickup, and the Jason Becker humbucker. I'll be honest with you. The Jason Becker humbucker, I believe, is at about $130, $120. I'm really thinking these two pickups are $60. And they're quite stupid sounding. They really are. I have yet to find a budget pickup better than these. I like them so much. This is it's my go-to guitar. I play this guitar more than pretty much any guitar that I have. You know, I think it's this particular gate here, guys. I'm gonna disengage this gate. You can hear the noise floor come up. It's I don't know if it's translating to your all side or not, but it's it's killing me on this side. I just can't deal with the gate. I'll leave the gate on over there because the mics are right on the cones. I really do like these. Now, I am in the humbucker mode. I want you to hear this bridge pickup when I switch it, to single coil. Like I said, it's still using part of the other coil. It does thin out, but it still has a lot of butt. It really does. The Z-Buckers do the exact same thing. I was so impressed with how these pickups split on the coil. So let me turn this one off. I'm going to play the first thing in humbucker mode, and then I'll switch. You'll see me pull the push-pull, and then you can hear it in single coil mode. That was the single coil mode. Now I'm going to play some leads in the humbucker mode. It is actually quite stupid sounding. And I'll go back and forth. I just need some buttons so I can flip all that stuff on and off, you know, without having to hit a bunch of buttons. That's the difference in the single coil mode and humbucker mode. I'll be honest with you, there's a side of me that that likes the split setting a little better. It's got more, maybe it's just because I'm starting to listen to more like blues oriented, like jazz, fusion type stuff. It's got a little twang to it, but yet it's dirty sounding. I don't know. I'm really digging it. The neck pickup in this guitar is also kick butt, and there is a trick setting. This position right here throws one of the pickups out of phase. So when you pull this one, it takes the other pickup and just reverses it, okay? But in the down position, it throws the whole pickup out of phase. So let's try the second position, and you'll be able to hear it, okay? We'll start in the bridge. Well, actually, let's start in the center position. That's both pickups, and then I'll go down to the second position, and that throws this pickup out of phase. So let's see where I'm at here. Third position. I really, really like in this phase position, the open E. I have this mic on, but you can hear the... Let me turn this one off, you'll get a better representation of what I'm talking about. Just so you know, the fourth position reverses the... It's very loud. The fourth position reverses the phase. So in position 2, it throws this pickup out of phase. In position 4, it throws this pickup out of phase. And if someone wants this wiring, no. Yeah, I scratched my little squirrel brain back and forth. There's no switches. So I got this to work with 2 push-pulls and a really fancy 5-way switch. I don't think I'm interested in doing another one. But this is what this one sounds like. Again, the fourth position really accents those open. I am so highly impressed with these $60 pickups from Guitar Heads. You know, I'm really leaning towards it may be my freaking favorite pickup set. If you want Avery to have an answer, you have to tag him or put... Yeah, if you're trying, guys, it's just me tonight. Please put @MusicNGear, and it should highlight it. It'll turn it orange. I do have the chat up, so I'll see it. So whatever the question was, just put @. That way I don't have to scroll back and look for it. But I'm really digging the out of phase thing, and you can still split coils, okay? and it still throws that particular one out of whack to the other one. I like it better in humbucker mode when you do that. And the neck position, which on high gain, a lot of guitars with the neck position, I'm not a real fan of. This one does okay. So let me do the neck position on the high gain setting, and we'll go from there. I'm digging it. I don't know what you guys think about it. If you already said whether you liked it or disliked it, please repost it so I can I want to talk to you guys. Tell me what you think. And this is a no BS channel. If you think it freaking sucks, please put in there it freaking sucks. If you like it, please put in there and say, wow, that's a good sound. I'm digging it, and I've tried my best to get the amp to come across to YouTube so you guys can kind of hear what I hear in the room. I'm not saying it's perfect, but I have tried, really hard to try to get that across. You can use pedals with the Donner Area 2000 as well as a Neural DSP or the Donor Area by itself, Arena. The Donor Arena was really big about 2 years ago. I don't hear too many people talking about it as much anymore. And it could be a lot of these companies like Joyo had reached out to. There's a lot of companies that reach out to me. I just don't like the stipulations on what they ask me to do and what they ask me to say. Believe me, guys, there are restrictions. And if you go along with it, that's fine. I just don't have an issue. I guess my main issue is it's no longer my property. So if I do a video for Joyo, they can put it on YouTube. They can do anything they want with it. They can run it in China. They can run it in Africa. I get nothing. So if I do a $30 Joyo pedal, they get to use my content for as long as they want. To me, that's not worth it. I'm going to spend 40 hours at least doing the video, and then they have rights to it. My stipulation was I'll leave the video up for 1 year, okay? And after that year, if you want it up, I need some kind of, compensation other than that, and I'll do all the work. But you don't have the right to use my video, on Facebook or a Temu ad or Amazon ad or anything else. That usually kicks me right out. I just don't have an interest in that. The same thing with Gunther. Gunther blew me up for almost a year. Every 2 weeks. Yeah, we're going to send you this, we're going to send you that. All you got to do is say these things and post a link to our product, and we're going to kick you an affiliate link, and we're going to give you 20%. It was 20%. I mean, that's a crazy commission. Yeah, I know why you see so many Gunther. It's 20%. If you work directly with them, not through Amazon, if they will supply you a link, you get 20%. That's unheard of. So keep that in mind when you guys are watching YouTube and they're throwing out the Gunther. Oh, it's a great bridge. It's a great tuners. If they've got a link and it takes you directly to Gunther or whatever that brand's called, I can't pronounce it, Geiger, I guess maybe it's Geiger, they're getting 20%. And they pretty much have to pull the corporate chain. They have to say certain things in a certain fashion. If you're familiar with the channel, you might hear them say something they normally don't say, or phrase something a certain way, because there's certain things they don't tell you necessarily how to say it. They want, well, I guess they kind of do. You have a couple different options there. I just don't, I don't do that. So I depend on you guys to tell me what you think of it. These are manufactured by Guitar Heads, and complete honesty, I did reach out to Guitar Heads and said, look, I'd like to buy some of your pickups to put, maybe do some giveaways, stuff like that. Can you give the channel a discount? I didn't ask for a free product. I just asked for, maybe 20% off, 15% off, 10% off, something, and I'll plug Guitar Heads. And they come back and said, no, we're really not interested. Our product sells. We don't, we don't need somebody pushing our product. No one knows of Guitar Head. I think it's a group of people that have bought them. They go, wow, this is a great pickup. And it's kind of like the underground pickup company that no one knows of. I think they're great. And you don't have to worry about them pushing. They're not, I've never seen a YouTube thing on Guitar Heads. So I get nothing out of it, but this is my third set in the last 3 years. And again, I think they've really knocked it out of the park. I know you guys are saying Music Lily. I've ordered some of their pickups too. And they do have some sets in the $50 or $60 range. In my opinion, these are better. They're just Music Lily and that Fuller and Omni Pure. You might get a good one. The issue that I've found with those really budget companies is they're getting everybody to make them. Whoever's available will wind the pickup. So you might get a really good pickup this order, then someone next year is winding that pickup, and it's technically the same spec, but it's not the same pickup. Yeah, everyone knows the way the machine winds it, the tension, the counts on the winds, the gauge of the wire, the bobbin material, the magnet material, how much it's charged when they magnetize it. It's hard to make a pickup here and then send those specifications to a different plant and have them correctly reproduce that. And you'll see that in manufacturing. A company will be doing really good, and they build a new facility with better equipment, and they struggle because the old equipment, they had it figured out. I'm not saying they won't get better. They'll figure it out. Their equipment's better. Sometimes they never get it. Sometimes the trick and the sauce was in the older equipment. So I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. I'm going to go up and read the comments. That could actually get you more subscribers. I don't know what I have to go back and read that. It was Backwoods Billy. This is a slow subscribing channel. If you watch, like I'm friends with Brian over at Searching for Tone, to comment, you have to be a subscriber. That's not the case here. There's also no membership groups here, and I know they also do that. A lot of the channels that are around my group, okay, that were used to be lower, they're getting more subs than me. Most of those guys are retired and they can devote more time to YouTube, and they're forcing people, if you want to make a comment, it's subscribe. I don't really push it too much. I ask you guys to subscribe, but I want the channel to grow naturally. And when the person hits that subscribe button, it's because they truly find the content here engaging. I see some of these channels and they have 50 or 60,000 subs, and their videos really just do a fraction better than us. I see a lot of channels at 15,000 subscribers, and our live does 3 and 4 times better than theirs. I think over the years, people hit the sub button and then they don't necessarily go back. So I don't think the subscriber count is a good matrix to what the channel offers. And once I figured that out, I don't really pay attention to their subscriber count. I click on it, see what the channel's about, see if I like their personality, and I always listen for key things, especially when they're reviewing it, just based on what my inbox has told me when companies reach out to us. I've only worked with one company, and that's Shenandoah Music. They've been great to me. They're a local music store. I know their website's not that good. They do have a Reverb page, guys. So you can, right now they've got a couple guitars on Reverb that they're just trying to push out. So do Shenandoah Music at reverb.com. I know they've got an American-made Jackson they're closing out that's neck through. It's not the Virtuoso because that's a bolt-on. This is they're not discontinuing this particular version. It's a neck through with Seymour Duncan's 1500 bridge. Gotoh. It's a solid instrument. I want to say it's listed at 21 or 2200, somewhere in that ballpark. That's a $2,700 guitar. That's a stupid deal. I think they have a Revstar up there at $429. I think the map price on that's $550. So that's a little more than, that's actually about 20% off. That's a smoking deal. There was a couple other ones we were looking at. I think they got a white Soloist Jackson they're closing out. You have to go to the Reverb Shenandoah Music and check out what they got. It's not their whole store. So they put their closeout items there, and sometimes they'll put used stuff. Now, when you click on everything, it's going to say used. Reverb stipulation is if the box is open and it's on the floor, they have to sell it as used. So this is inventory that's on their wall. It's brand new, but everything's listed as used. Just so you guys know. So that's a free plug to those guys. They're the only ones that have really reached out to me. There is a music store in Purcellville, Virginia called Shamrock Music. I went in last week and I spoke to those guys. I don't know if I'll be able to work with those guys in the future because the owner kind of stays in the back and he has a couple sales guys up front. I think I'm pretty good, you know. So far, the sales staff likes me and we can talk business. But until the owner reaches out to me and says, you know, whether I can or, you know, can't do something, we'll have to see. But that's a free plug to those guys. It's a smaller store. They're much smaller than Shenandoah. They're concentrating more on lessons. So their storefront's kind of small, but in the back they have a ton of lesson rooms. So I think they said they had over 350 students taking guitar and bass lessons there. So that's a tremendous amount of revenue coming into the store on lessons. I think that's pretty good. I don't think Shenandoah has that many. I know they do lessons there, but I don't think it's near as good as what Shamrock is doing. So I'm trying to keep track. I haven't seen any highlighted messages saying at MusicNGear. Yes, the site where we got those pickups. I don't know what you guys are talking about. The pickups that I have, you can get those on eBay. It's Guitar Heads, and they also have a Reverb store, Guitar Heads. And I can tell you right now, the pickups that you just heard, they're Hexbuckers. They're awesome freaking pickups. If they're a little too attacky for you, get the Z-Buckers. And if you want to hear the Z-Buckers, go back. It's a live show. It's a Firefly FFST that Jupe sent here. Jupe bought the guitar off me, decided that he was going to give it to Devastator's daughter. So Devastator does a lot for the channel. So I say, hey, Jupe, send me the guitar. that guitar needs pickups. That was really the only thing that guitar needed. It needed pickups. So Jupe sent the guitar back to me. We put a set of Z-Buckers in it. That guitar is actually quite stupid. It was heavy because it was an ash body, but man, that guitar plays well. And the 2-point tremolo on that guitar, it's a player. And now it sounds like it sounds like it looks, if that makes sense. It always looked awesome, played awesome, but it had weak pickups. So putting those guitar head pickups, really, that guitar, I would have no problems whatsoever playing anywhere with it. And that was a Firefly. Probably one of the best Fireflies that we've had on the channel. The bridge always returned to 0. It was very smooth. Decent electronics other than the pickups. Great guitar. You can't do at Avery. It'll be at MusicNGear. Because my little thing, I'm pretty sure it's at MusicNGear. So if you guys have a question, just put at MusicNGear, and it should self-populate. Like I said, I'm running solo right now. Still use an 84 Icron needle tuner for intonation. You know, I have, it's a strobe stomp. It's made by Peterson. And I really, really like the accuracy of it. I did reset the intonation on this guitar because I ended up putting a bridge on it. Okay. Thankfully, the factory screw holes are right on the corner. And you can just barely see the two right here. If this bridge was just a 16th, I'm not going to fix it because unless you get right here, you can't see it. So you can put a Hipshot bridge on the stock Ibanez RGAs. It will cover and it will intonate. So there's plenty of room back and forth. It lines up fine. Now there was an issue. Ibanez offsets the ferrule on the E. The Hipshot holes all line up. So you have to drill at an angle this way, and you have to angle that hole, okay? Because if you don't, when you go to push the string in from the back, it'll hit the bottom side of the plate of this bridge because the Ibanez one's offset. So all I did was put a bit in it, and I bored sideways like that to chamfer out the hole. And I had absolutely no problem getting the E string in here. So you can see they've offset the low E. Look at the ferrule. But the holes in this bridge are all completely straight. So that was the only trick thing that I had to do to make it work. Yeah, see it's, woo, that's why I cut it down. It's at MusicNGear. Sorry guys, I don't have Linnell. So whoever's trying to send me a question, or Devastator, you could put in there at MusicNGear and transfer the question to me. That way I can see it. All right, I'm going to do one more demonstration of what this bad boy sounds like. Bede asked the hex buckers outdo the quantums. Yes, I love these. I love these pickups. The quantums have a lot of pickups have it. Now, the Jason Becker didn't do it as bad, but like the JBs, the quantums, and some of the EMGs, when you're pedaling, you get this real funny artifact, and it's right at like 60 hertz, 65 hertz, and it does some weird things. And I struggle getting it out. And there's some Seymours that do it too. We're not talking budget pickup. We're not just saying quantums. I've seen some DiMarzios that are bad. It's a weird, if anyone knows what I'm talking about, it's a weird artifact that you get with your amp when you're pedaling the A and the E. I found these pickups are very forgiving in that frequency band, and I don't have that issue with them. They're very mid-focused, okay? So if you're chasing the brown sound, these are definitely brown sound pickups. So they're very mid-focused. That means they're not doing this cut, that they have a little center scoop. Okay. I like that. And they naturally roll off past 50 hertz. And I know, oh, I don't want the bass on my guitar. If you're playing out, the first thing the sound guy does is low cut. Anything under 50, it just, he's killing it. Okay, that's what he's doing. You may not like it, but he's doing it because you can't trample on the bass. And you start getting too many things covering the exact same spot, and it just turns to mud. So these pickups lend themselves really well to the mix and playing out. They're voiced correctly. So let me turn it up, and I'm going to turn off this mic. I've got it cranking, guys. I don't have my thingy on. They lend themselves really well. They really do. I'm liking them. The Quantums aren't going. I like Quantums. Don't get me wrong. The Quantums aren't going back. This guitar is it sounds so much more natural now, and I'm not having to screw with my settings, if that makes sense. It's naturally voiced. It's a good tone. Yeah, it's the perfect, for me, this is the perfect set of pickups for this guitar. I'm liking them. Yeah, and I knew I would because I liked the Z-Buckers. And for 60 bucks, guys, come on. One Seymour Duncan is more than that. And I'm not bashing on Seymour Duncan. Everyone knows I love the Seymour Duncan Distortion, and I love the Seymour Duncan JB. But I believe this pickup is just as articulate as any of those. I don't know how it's translating to you guys, but it's a very articulate pickup. And you can hear the note separation in the pickup. It's a phenomenal set of pickups for 60 bucks. Okay. Brad asked, do all the guitar head pickups have the logo on them? I think they do. This one just says guitar heads, right on the bobbin. I wonder if that's coming through. So I think they do. To me, that doesn't bother me. If someone looks at it and they go, oh, I've never heard of them, that's when you just hand it to them and say, well, then play it. There's nothing to be embarrassed about when they plug this thing in and hear these pickups. They're not going to say, if they're doing rock and roll, these are some awesome pickups. I put a set in, I'm trying to remember the guy's name. We did a Harley Benton We modified it to, I think it was drop C, and we put their mega metal pickups on it. He loved it. That's the kind of music he played, and he said it was awesome for that kind of music. When I demoed it, those pickups were their blade. It's a solid blade pickup. They were crunchy even on clean settings. They had a lot of push. So if you wanted to do something on the cleaner side and then also have breakup, you don't want the mega metals, okay? And it's just a solid bar that goes all the way across. It's a real wide bar. It reminds me of the older Ibanez pickups that Ibanez made in the mid-'80s. A little more higher, much higher output than the Ibanez pickups. It's just, that's not my cup of tea, if that makes sense. But he loved them. Smoothie Buns was the guy's name. I haven't seen him post in the stream in a long time, but you can go back. It was the Harley Benton in for repair or service. There was 5 or 6 videos on modifying that guitar, changing the pickups, fixing the bridge. Well, we did a lot of work to that guitar. We turned it into a chug monster. Zebra style, yeah. And I love, Brad, if you look at it, it's a rock and roll straight dude. It's hard for me to read. I'm so far away. I think the cream really goes with the cream in the body. It's pretty cool. Yes, we're streaming. You want me to point the camera that direction, honey?
No.
She's about half naked, just walked out of the bedroom, going to the bathroom. I'm liking it, guys. I wanted to do this project well, I've had these parts for a long time. I put Gotoh locking tuners on it as well. I don't know if you can see that. Kick butt. And then the Hipshot high mass bridge. This is the tall one. And I have plenty of room. I did not put a shim in the neck, and the saddles are almost as low as they can go. So on the next string change, I may put just a small shim in here just to give me a little bit more saddle height. This one right here, the grub screw is just barely out past the saddle. So I would need just a thin shim, kick the neck a little bit, and then I could raise these up just a little bit, and it would be perfect. I didn't mess with it. I mean, the only way to know is to assemble the guitar, play it, and see how it adjusts out. Right now, I have no relief in the neck. It's perfectly straight. I think the action is set to 0.065, and that's on the low E and the high E. So every string, it's consistent all the way across. That's just where I set it now. I'm going to fine tweak it, figure it out. And then on the next string change, I may put a shim in the neck, kick the neck back a little bit, and then do some changing back here. But all in all, I really like what it's doing. I don't have an issue with it. it's got a kick-ass sound. I'm liking it. And I needed to do it. I've been playing the Schecter because this was downstairs. I got it done. It probably took me, to do everything about 9 hours of labor to do everything that I did to the guitar. I also went in and did some cleanup just on the fingerboard. Okay, I didn't do anything to the frets. Okay, there were a couple frets on this guitar when we did the review that were just a little out. I didn't mess with it. I did go through and just clean up the fingerboard, and I put one coat of tried and true on it to kind of darken it up. And it really, that's Jatoba. Look at how pretty that is now with one coat of tried and true on it. It takes that red, that raw red color from the Jatoba, and it really makes it nice. And it soaks in, so you don't have to worry about it wearing out. Once you wear through that color, you've removed material. So it's soaked into the wood. I've cut it after 2 coats of tried and true, and it's a good 30-second that it penetrates into the wood. So hopefully it'll be okay. I like the way it looks. That's really the main reason we came on today, guys. And I saw Vox earlier on another stream. No, Vox Linnell isn't, well, she's up now, but she was taking a nap. Something that I probably should have done. I should have took a nap. But I was so excited about getting the guitar finished, and I figured we'd come on. Plus, it's Sunday. There's a new crowd on YouTube on Sundays. Not saying I dislike you guys, because I love you all. I want to grow the channel. Everyone has an opinion. So when we get new people that come in, sometimes that fresh thought and that fresh point of view can stir up new conversations because they have something to contribute, maybe something that no one else has thought about, if that makes sense. So the bigger the community gets, the better the better it will become, because then it'll be so many people contributing to the conversation. And I'm sure there's other people out there that have bought these pickups that could chime in. I'm not the only one that uses guitar heads. Like I said, they had no interest because he said our product sells. We don't need to advertise. And that's true. I put a guitar together, 15 years ago with guitar head pickups. And I thought they were phenomenal. So it's not like they've made a change. They were phenomenal 15 years ago, and I think they're phenomenal now. What's funny is the price really hasn't changed in 15 years. I paid $50 for Z-Buckers 15 years ago. Now they're like $55. So, I mean, what can you say about that? That's pretty cool. I see BTM just came in. Hey, man. We sent you a message on Discord over the LP. I know the shipping was so I sent you a message on the shipping. Hopefully that'll work for you. Trying to think. Jupe's Guitar. It's leaving here this coming weekend. I did order the knobs for it, if you guys know. So Jupe's Guitar is done. This one's done. And that's putting Devastator's guitar to be finished next. I've already done the fret level, the refinish on the frets. I've got all the pickups working on it. So the big thing I have to do now is put knobs on it and attempt to repair the chips in the finish and fill the holes in the back of the neck. Then I have another guitar right here for Devastator. I have his Paul Reed Smith. So I might, since there's nothing actually wrong with that guitar, I'm probably going to take that guitar downstairs next and fix the fret sprout on it and give him a good fret polish and new end dressing on that guitar. Put his new pick guard on it and put a fresh set of strings on it and get that guitar out to him. I know he's really chomping at the bit for that one. The paint repair is going to take some time because I got to let the paint cure, then I got to buff it, and then that's not a 1 week job. That's, you know, the cure time is usually 2 or 3 days for that stuff. Even though you're just painting a little spot, it still needs to cure. If you get in there polishing too soon and it's not cured right, it can really make a mess. Brad asked you a question that you missed. Okay, let me go back and see the question. Just a dumb question about where do you set the speed on the chorus that you normally use. Actually, I can just go over and tell you. There is a microphone right there, so I'll leave that one on. Let me see which microphone that is. I can just use that one to talk to you. All right, that one says it's on. So I'll just go over and I'll go through the chorus settings that are in the art. Okay, can you guys hear me? All right, is that working? Okay. Chorus settings. Of course, the sun's coming in and it's killing the settings. Parameter, comp, digital delay. All right, chorus. Is this working? Check, 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 check. Okay, chorus. I have it set to post, so it's in post processing. The width is at 59%. It's hard to see because the light's coming in the window. Hold on. All right, my speed is at 0.36 hertz. 0.36 hertz. Delay is 18 milliseconds. The level is at 89%. The delay is 18 milliseconds on the second because this is a tri-stereo chorus. Level is 89%. Modulation of the second chorus is 37%. Speed of the pan is 1.24 hertz. Second, because it's a tri-stereo chorus. Width of the third is 40%. Speed, 4.6 hertz. Delay, 18 milliseconds again. Level is 50%. Pad mod frequency, 37%. So it's not a regular chorus. It's a tri-stereo chorus. If you go back and you listen to Dokken and a lot of the bands of the 80s that used chorus, it's not a regular chorus. It's a tri-stereo chorus. If you try to get a lot of chorus out of a regular chorus, it really kills the sound. Now, the levels and stuff on that, there's a lot of chorus, okay? Then I have a master wet-dry mix. Out of everything that you just heard, only 30% of that wet signal is going into the chain. So you got to keep that in mind too. If you're using like a chorus stomp pedal, the amount of effect, the whole signal's going through it. Here I have a dry signal, then I have my tri-stereo chorus. So I can put a lot of chorus, a little chorus, change all this stuff, and then I can blend when it comes back in how much of that goes into it. So I can have a real heavy chorus and still have my dry signal go through. That's how come you can hear the chorus, but it's not so washy that it's killing the sound. This is a trick a lot of people use. You can do it with distortion as well. If you want a really, really super saturated sound, but you start losing definition, split your signal, go into one of your amps, okay, with your super saturated sound. The other signal should go clean without distortion, okay? And then put the two together. When you crank up your distortion, you start losing your definition and stuff, start bringing in your clean signal. And that clean signal will add a little definition and a little color. It'll clean it up, but you're not going to lose the dirt from your other side. I'm not doing that right now.
Are those effects running in your loop?
I can't hear you without the system on.
Are those effects running in your loop?
Yeah, that's in the loop of effects. So even though it's in the art, on the SGX Express, you can run it in the signal path, or you can pull the effect in. You can do pre or post. So post is after the preamp stage, but before the effects send, okay? So if I put it at pre, it puts it as a pre-input to the preamp. Post is after the preamp, but before the effects chain. So any of my modulation effects that are digital goes on effects chain 1, send 1. The reason is I run it into that tube preamp, which warms the signal and then goes back into the unit, okay? That is before the wet-dry mix. Effects loop 2 goes into the 362, which is set pretty much dead center, 12 o'clock. That goes back in, then I have a wet-dry mix for both. And then my dry signal is whatever is pre the SGX, if that makes sense. And then those three signals are joined together and then out. And of course it's stereo, so then I have a mic on each side of the cabinet. A lot of the differences in the sound getting better was I had a stereo cabinet, and I was thinking I had one mic cable going into the wing rack. Every channel on the wing is stereo. So it was throwing my left channel on right and left. So I have went and panned the two microphones hard right and hard left to get the stereo imaging. That's why now you're hearing it more than you did 2 weeks ago when we first set up the amp. Again, I'm learning. It's a new rig. So I was used to using the pan and setting two subgroups, like 1-3 subgroup, right, back and forth. I don't even have to do that with this particular board, if that makes sense. Everything is a stereo. So it's a 48 channel board. It's really 96 channels because every channel is stereo. I just forgot to do it. Woof do. You're driving the other puppy crazy. You gotta get in your basket. Woofy hurt his leg. He's been hobbling and he's getting old. So we're starting to think that maybe his hip is starting to go out on him. He's a Pomeranian, but he's not one of the Pomeranians that have been bred down and turned into midget dogs. A Pomeranian's supposed to be this size. Some are a little bigger. But he's 14, almost 15 years old. So usually 16, 17 years for a Pomeranian that hasn't been bred down, if that makes sense. 16 years is about maximum for him. So we're hoping that he's okay, but he hasn't had hip issues, but he's been really walking crooked and then kind of stumbling on his right rear paw. So we ordered some medicine for him. It's supposed to be a joint compound to lubricate the joints. That's pretty much all you can do. He has a good home. He's well fed. he's just starting to get old. He's 14 and a half. Yeah. So that's the update on Wolfie and the system. Hopefully that helps the chorus thing. There's another thing you can do. Brian, do you have a mixing board? You can do this with your mixing board. Run your guitar into your mixing board. Okay. If you don't have effect sends, you can use an auxiliary send. Look at your auxiliary send on your board, and you have a fader knob there. So you can tell how much of that guitar signal to send out on the auxiliary. Run your effects on the auxiliary. When you're on your last effects, run it into channel 2. Okay? Now your dry signal is channel 1. That's your guitar. Now you can add your effects by sliding up channel 2, okay? And you can do the exact same thing. You can do a wet-dry mix. Then you can start playing around with stereo because you can come in on the board, use your 2 auxiliary sends for stereo, okay? Now, granted, they're mono right now, but use 1 auxiliary send to go to one group of effects and another one to another group of effects or a completely different amp. When you return it, pan 1, to channel, let's say 2 and 3, because you're only using 1 channel, 2 auxiliary sends. When you have a return, you're going to have 2 returns. Channel 2, pan hard left. Channel 3, pan hard right. And then blend to taste. And you can do that again. You can blend to taste and run that to a subfeed group. Now, you want to get really tricky, put 2 mics in front of it. Now your stereo, put a mic in front of your cabinet. Now you've got your room. So bring that in, pan left, right to match your 2, 3. So this would be 4, 5, and then blend that. You've got your mono signal, okay? Channel 2, channel 3 is your left, right to the amp, and channel 4 and 5 is your mic input. You will be surprised at how thick your guitar sound will become. If you're just plugging into your amp, you're not going to get the sound. You're not going to get the depth. You're not going to get the warmth, because technically what you're hearing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different signals. That's what you're hearing. And before someone says, oh, you're cheating, it's not cheating. This is something that's been done for years, especially in the studio. You can blend your stage microphone and your direct out to the board, especially if you're running like a quad cortex or anything. You can blend it. If you're running a mic, let's say you've got a quad cortex and you're going front of house on the mains, come out of the headphone jack to a powered PA speakers so you can hear it, put a microphone in front of it. That's another signal that you can hand off to the sound guy. Now he's got 3 sounds. He's got your left-right mix on your main out, and he's got a microphone in front of your powered PA or FRR. Give him some options to thicken up your sound. If you're at home, you can do the exact same thing. And remember, there's, I can't remember if it's 1 millisecond. I think it's 1 millisecond of delay for every 12 foot of cable. I'm thinking. I could be completely wrong. For some strange reason, my little squirrel brain is saying that. So as you're going around the room with all these cables, you don't want to get past 10 milliseconds, because then you're going to start hearing a variation. If you're at 5, 6, 7, 8 milliseconds, I think you're going to be okay as far as your delay. And before anyone says it doesn't matter, it does matter. There are so many companies that make time sequencing units for your speaker arrays. If timing wasn't an issue, then they wouldn't make these. The drawback is when you're front of house and you've got 2 drivers here, and then you're in an arena, and then you've got drivers way over here, it could be 3 times the distance to the other drivers. So they have to delay the signal to the front forward drivers. Because if they don't, the signal reaches that driver before it reaches the driver over here. Believe me, this only happens in big places. They use time delay to delay that signal, okay? And you'll hear it in when you go to a big concert, you'll hear this back, back. There's nothing they can do about that because as you walk through the arena, the distance you are from particular drivers will also change it. Their job is to make sure the signal reaches the drivers very close to the exact same town. Depending on where you're setting, you may end up with an imaging issue, if that makes sense. So little things like that will thicken up your sound. And guitar players they're using it on purpose. That 5 or 6 millisecond delay and cable singling and running over here and going into the mic and then back, that's just adding thickness to their sound. And you can hear it in my sound. A lot of it isn't just chorus, you're hearing basically a multi-tracked guitar. Did you want to come through, hon? Why? Oh my God. She's in her jammies. She don't want to walk by, and she's done it 50,000 times, guys. She's in her little pink and black white jammies with a black top. So I don't get it. Everyone's seen her like that. She's kind of cute. She's got her hair back, got her little glasses on. She's looking at the chat on her phone. She's leaned against the wall, kind of. And she's giggling, so I know she's okay. All right, guys, we're going to take a little bit of a break. If you know the channel, we usually take a break in the 1 hour mark. So, and that'll allow Linnell to walk through. And I'm going to get something to drink and use the restroom. So if you haven't already, please go down, hit the thumbs up button, and please subscribe. I'm not forcing you to subscribe to chat. I want you to come in and join in on the conversation. We talk about everything here. We were just talking about time delay on cabinets. Anything that you guys want to ask about the cabinet, like I went over and gave Brad the specifications of my chorus. Whether or not he'll be able to utilize that information on his particular course, I don't know. But he'll have a reference now. He can go back and listen to the stream and go, okay, he's here, here, and here. Even though he may only have maybe a stereo chorus, he can do just 2 parts of it and play around with his imaging. Hopefully it'll help him. All right, guys, let's take our little bit of a break. Again, thumbs up button and subscribe. We're trying to grow this channel. Tell a friend about it. And we're here to talk about what you guys want to talk about. And if I don't have the information about it, someone chatting in that window will know something about it. So it's a group effort. All right, guys, let's take our break, and we'll be right back. I'm going to say it's intermission with flames. Okay, guys, I want to give everyone a frame of reference, okay? And this is not to pick on guitar heads, and it's not to pick on Seymour Duncan. But I do have two guitars here. I have the Jason Becker humbucker, okay, that everyone liked the other night. And then I have the guitar that we just listened to. So, what's the difference between a $60 set of guitar heads versus a $120 Jason Becker pickup? And again, guys, this is not about bashing Seymour Duncan. Everyone, if you watch this channel, you know this guy's a Seymour Duncan fan. I like Seymour Duncans. So, we're going to start with the Seymour first. Try to do that quick. Okay. I am going to turn off my microphone, and Linnell is making hot cocoa. So once she's done with that, she'll be reading the chat. So we're going to start with this one, and then I'm really not going to unmute this mic. I'll just plug in the other guitar. That way we can go right and do a comparison. I'm not changing the output or anything. So unless it's clipping, I don't want to change it. That way you guys can get an idea. This is the Jason Becker Seymour Duncan, and it is not split. It is in full humbucker mode. Please vote. Which one did you like better? Did you think they were the same? Did you think the one was better than the other? And again, guys, this is a no bullshit channel. One is a $30 pickup because it's $60 for two. So a $30 pickup versus a $120 pickup. Which one did you like better? Or do you think you could pass a blindfold test and pick out the Seymour Duncan? And guys, as I said, I'm a Seymour Duncan fan. And then I'll tell you my opinion after you guys do a vote. Do you guys want to do a poll? Let's do a poll. Start a poll. Which pickup sounded better? And it's hold on. Oh, sorry. I actually have to put poll. I was doing ask a question.
Steve said you can't hear me.
Hold on. Okay, now your mic's unmuted.
Steve said, Avery, can you compare the DCR and inductance between the pickups?
I can. Why is that coming up? There we go. Boy, I'm having a hard night of typing tonight. Can't seem to type anything. Okay, the poll was up. Please go up there and vote. You just heard the pickups. So please go up and vote. If the poll is not working, let me know. Let me get my tester and we will test them. Where is my tester? So if you guys need to know, we are using the Proster BM4070, and that's our frame of reference. So let's start with the Ibanez. I've never seen it do what it just did. The amp's noisy because I unplugged the amp. Okay, power. So in humbucker mode on the Ibanez, bridge position, we have 16.23, 20 kOhm. And Henry's and inductance, we have 6.27. That's a stupid number. That's a little over a third, or a little under, yeah, a little over a third. That's a good number. To go from that to 20 kOhm, 16.24, 20 kOhm. Henry's and inductance, 6.26. That's a solid reading. So that's telling me there's some copper on that pickup. So let's check out the Jason Becker. All right, the Jason Becker 20 kOhm is reading 13.08. And Henry's and inductance, 5.56. So you can see, in reality, differential shift, it's 3 points higher on the guitar head. This one's a little lower on the Henry's, but not ratio-wise. The guitar head has a lower Henry rating to ohm output than the Seymour Duncan. But this is still a good number. It's still well below half. And that's, the best ones I ever heard is right at a third. But this is a little higher than the guitar head pickup. And guys, they're numbers, okay? So don't let the numbers influence your decision. You just heard them. Which one do you think? I gotta plug this back in. The hum is killing me. Which one do you think actually sounded better? Now that you see the numbers, I mean, does the guitar head numbers shock you? I mean, it kind of shocks me. It's a $30 pickup. Now, granted, I think they do sell them in Signals. I think you can just get that one for $40, okay? But I bought the set, and the set is $60. I got to put my headphones on so I can hear Linnell. Okay, go ahead, hon.
Are they both ceramic?
You know, I don't know what the guitar head pickup is, and I don't know what the Jason Becker is. I'm assuming the Jason Becker is a ceramic. but I'm not sure on that. Let me, someone can look it up. They're on Reverb and eBay, guitar heads. I'm not sure. I'm not, you know, I don't care if it's an Eco 2, an Oki 3, a 5, a ceramic. If I like the sound, I like the sound. I don't care. Does that make sense? And that goes by the numbers too. I do like looking at the numbers because it gives me an idea. Okay, I kind of like this. And then I'll look, okay, and it's a ceramic, so I should get this. On Eco, I should get, but don't let that fool you. Just listen to it. Which one did you like better? Hey, Mr. Jupe, I'm going to look at the poll right now. So 75% say the Jason Becker sounded better, and 25% say the guitar head sounded better. And that's what it's about, guys. It's what you guys hear, okay? And that's the result you should get in reality, because the Jason Becker's $120 pickup fighting against a $30 pickup. So with that being said, okay, how much better is the Jason Becker pickup? Okay, is it 5% better, 10% better, or there's no way I would buy that guitar head pickup after hearing the Jason Becker pickup? I don't care if it's 20 times the cost. The guitar head one sucks compared to the Jason Becker. You guys have already said, look, it's 75% of you say the Jason Becker sounds better. How much better is it? Is it so much better that you would not buy the guitar heads and you would pay, I think it's like $36 for the pickup if you buy it separately. So 36 you could buy 3. So it's a third the price, a little less than third the price. Does that make a difference? Cut the brightness on the guitar head and I'll like it more. Yeah, I didn't do any EQ change. So that was the point on it. The point in it is no EQ change, no nothing. This is what they sound like. And guys, I say this all the time. You got to do a little EQ setting for your guitar, okay? That's why a lot of people that have a rig, they go out, well, the guitar didn't really work with my rig. The guitar might be fine.
Jupe said,
but, yeah.
Do a lead run on the Becker, please.
1 second, Jupe. So a lot of times when these guys go out and play, they have to find guitars that work well with their presets, okay? They can't have a guitar like what you all just said. You probably like it more if I roll the tone back. Well, if I roll the tone back and then I pick up my other guitar, now it's going to sound dark. So keep that in mind too. If you're out playing, you're going to need to find instruments that play well when you switch them without going into your settings. Unless you have programs, and when you pick up this guitar, your amp, you can push a button and it automatically goes to the voicing of that guitar. That's different. But if you're just plugging into a head and you got a couple stomp pedals, you need to think about that, because the pickup voicing is going to change the way your amp sounds. Anybody saying which one they thought? Personally, guys, I'm looking at it as it's a $450 Ibanez, and I wanted to add a little sustain to it, so I put a higher mass bridge. I wanted good tuning keys, and I wanted a better pickup. And I think the pickup is better than Quantum's. If I would have done Seymour Duncan's, it would have been $250 to put a set of Seymour Duncan's on it. So I'm looking at spending $190 more on this Ibanez. Okay, could I do it? Sure. I would probably like it more. But that kind of defeats the purpose in buying a beater. I bought it because I like the way it plays, and it's a beater guitar. I want to be able to beat the snot out of it, play it, and if I put a dent in it, I don't care. It's for streaming, and I think the pickup sounds good. And yes, I'm going to agree with you guys. Playing it, I want to say, now I want to qualify this, I like the edge of the guitar head pickup better. I like the bite that it has. Okay? but I like the clarity and the articulation a little better on the Jason Becker. It has a little bit warmer sound, hence warmer, less attack, less bite. You can't have both, but I like the attack and the bite the guitar head has. If it was just a little bit more articulate, and the Jason Becker's just a little bit more articulate, it's warmer sounding. So I agree 100% the Jason Becker, in my opinion, standing here and sitting here in the room, the Jason Becker did sound better to my ears. But I'm listening for the articulation and the response and the pickup. And I would expect that. It's a Seymour Duncan. Like I said before the test, I'm a Seymour Duncan fan. I like Seymour Duncan pickups. All right, we're going to do a little bit of lead work. Ooh, on Jupe's guitar. Live amp in the room. And if you don't know Jupe, he just came in. This is Jupe's guitar. So we are going to play a little bit because he asked me just to play a little bit on it. I think he missed the demo. So Jupe, you have to go back. You will be happy. Your pickup won the poll test, evidently. We'll do it again as new people come in. I will do a demonstration of both guitars, exact same ditty, and let the new people vote. If you just came in and you haven't voted yet, don't vote and you haven't heard it. I will play both guitars back to back again, and please cast your vote. Right now we're at 75% say the Jason Becker was better, and 25% say the guitar head was better. So we're in the bridge position, no split coil, no trickery, no nothing. I'm going to turn off this mic and let Jupe hear his guitar. Thank you, Wicked Fester, for putting at. It got my attention. So, like I said, guys, is my chat window's open. If you do that, I can see it. You're absolutely correct. I should have put, I heard no difference whatsoever. If you guys want to, oh, we got more votes. So Jason Becker is at 67%, and the guitar head now is at 33%. Like I said, I heard the difference, okay, on my end. The Jason Becker's a little more articulate and it's warmer sounding. You can't have it all. I like the attack the guitar head pickup has, but it loses a little bit of its articulation.
Backwoods Billy said they were close in tone, in his opinion.
I think they're very close in tone. Tone-wise, I think they're very close. It's just when I do this, okay, when I come up and I think the guitar heads does the open better. I like the resonance on the guitar head. The Jason Becker, I think right there, the note separation is a little better on this guitar when I do that. And it's just a little warmer. It's really, pickups, guys, are taste. They really are. If you're wanting a more articulate, warmer sound, this pickup has it. If you're wanting more bite, and you can hear it in the harmonics that I'm getting. The harmonic on the Jason Becker just isn't quite as smack you in the face as the guitar head. It's a little hotter. The harmonics are just a little bit more bitey, and you need that bite to get the harmonics, but you lose the warmth. You can't have it all. It's just one of those things, guys. That's why we buy a Telecaster, because nothing sounds like a Telecaster other than a Telecaster. I want a plain Jane Telecaster so bad, you know, with the simple lipstick, no humbucker, just the Tele bridge pickup and the lipstick pickup up here. I wanted just a regular Telecaster. When you put that thing on high gain, it just does something that this pickup and the guitar head pickup, it can't do. Even if I split the coil on the Jason Becker, it still doesn't have the twang the Tele pickup has. And it's a single coil now. It's different. The way the Telecaster pickup is made with the big plate under it, the 3 screws, and it's underneath that big ashtray, it changes the way the pickup and the way the guitar sounds. You don't have to like it. Okay, I'm not saying, oh, if you don't like Telecasters. I didn't like Telecasters for years. I looked at them and go, well, who would buy that? That's a useless guitar. Now I look at it and it's like, if I want that sound, that's the go-to guitar. So you will be seeing one coming here shortly. Every time I play a Telecaster, I'm kind of like, yeah, I got to buy one of these. And I have a really nice Telecaster. I have an FMT, but that's my Les Paul killer. It's got humbuckers in it, and it's a set neck. So it's a Telecaster that doesn't sound like a Telecaster. It's a Telecaster that sounds like a Les Paul, less 3 pounds. That's why I sold my Les Paul. This pickup here, I like it. I'm thinking about it. I've got 3 guitars with JBs on it. And I'm thinking I'm going to order me a Jason Becker, and I'm going to either put it in my Kramer, or Linnell will probably shoot me. I don't know if I'll ask Juke, because he's a Jason Becker freak. Do they make a chrome top Jason Becker, Juke, with the chrome top cover? If they do, I think I want to put this on the Yamaha Pacifica. I think that would be an awesome pickup to stick in my Pacifica. It's got the chrome cover. It wouldn't look good with this. It would change the look of the guitar. I like the chrome cover on the Pacifica. I don't know if they make this one in the chrome cover or not. And I know the chrome cover is going to change the sound a little bit. That's fine. I think this would be a good guitar to pull the Seymour Duncan out of the Pacifica and put a Jason Becker on it. I think that would be a cool guitar.
Jupe said he's not sure.
I think I'm going to look into that, because this pickup on the Sedano side, when you turn the gain down, it's got a stupid sound. It does that rock, jazz, blues thing like stupid nice. And my Pacifica does too. I think that's a Seymour in the Pacifica. I like this one a little better. This one I think is a little more utilitarian than the one in the Pacifica. The one in the Pacifica does the cleans and stuff, and it does that, but under high gain, it doesn't have the push. This one has more push, but it still keeps the articulation and the clean and on the lower gain settings. So I think this one's voiced a little more broader. I don't know what Seymour Duncan is, which one that is. I don't know if it's the TB, it's either a TB2 or a TB4 that they put in the Pacifica. But I'm thinking about dropping one of these in it. All right, we're going to start out one more time with the test. We're going to do the ditty I always do, And if you just came in, I want you, this is a non-BS channel. This is a $120 Seymour Duncan Jason Becker. I'm going to play it. I'm going to try to play as consistently as I can on both attempts. The other guitar has guitar head Hexbuckers in it. And for the pair, they are $60, or you can buy just the bridge pickup for like $40. It's like $38. So it's 1/3 the cost of this pickup. And I'm sorry, we do not have an open. If you think they sound the same, just type it in the chat. I think they sound the same. I can't tell the difference. All right, we're going to start out with this one. I'm going to turn this mic off. I'm not going to talk between. I'm just going to unplug and switch guitars. Please vote in the poll which one you like better. This guitar has the guitar head Hexbuckers in it. That guitar has the Seymour Duncan Jason Becker in it. Please go up and vote in the poll if you haven't already. And let me know which one you like better.
Jupe said he got that on Amazon for $100.
Okay, it's a $100 pickup. The guitar head pickup, if you just buy one, it's like $37.50, $38. So you can buy almost three of them for the price of the Seymour Duncan. And again, guys, this isn't trashing any company. I love Seymour Duncans. Seymour Duncans, you can ask Linnell when she bought me my guitar for a present. One of the qualifying factors was, yes, it has to have Seymour Duncan pickups in it. He loves Seymour Duncans. And she bought me the Pacifica Yamaha, the Pro model, and it came with Seymours. And that was something she said, I went in, she said, I saw Seymours. She knows I like Seymours. I think Seymour's a great guitar company, pickup company. Iceman now. The Iceman is down in the basement. I can't do the Iceman. I'm still working on it, so it's not in a position to play right now.
What do you think about the cheap Fender from Indonesia?
The one I just reviewed. Should I let the cat out of the bag, hon?
Well, you might as well since you said that.
The Indonesian Telecaster standard, I like the guitar. It's they went the extra mile. The Fender, their 2025 production run, they didn't put shielding paint in it. The pickups had a 60 cycle hum like you wouldn't believe. They had some issues with some frets on their dressings. All in all, it was a $599 Fender. I liked the Fender. It was just really noisy. Now in 2026, they've made changes on the standard. They heard people, and you don't have to believe me. You can just look at YouTube, last year's reviews on it. A lot of people poo-pooed it. They were like, the vintage vibe is the better buy. It was and it wasn't. There was things that the standard had even over the vintage vibe. As far as pickup and sound, I think the vintage vibe sounded more Stratty than a Fender. And I compare that to pretty much any Fender under $2,000. The vintage vibe Stratocaster and Telecaster sounds more Stratty and Telly than a Fender. Why? They're very classically voiced, okay? There's a little hum in there, but so did the old 50s, 60s, and 70s Fenders. They weren't quiet. That's why Fender made noiseless pickups. You know, it's very true to its heritage. The new 2026 standard model, they've made changes. The fretwork on the guitar is much better. They've put shielding, paint, and grounded all the electronics with a bonding screw. They put alpha pots in the guitar. It's just a better guitar. The fit and finish was good. The pickups are so-so. I did like the pickups. I thought they were fine. Much better than the 2025 models. There was no 60 cycle hum. They changed the pickups and they added shielding paint. And it was done properly because there was a bonding piece that come over to where when you put the tele electronics on it, it made that plate part of the ground. Okay, so they did a good job. It does not have the skunk stripe on the back of the neck. It's supposed to be their entry line guitar. I like it. I can't afford a $1,200 Player 2 mod, and that's what. And the problem is, I would even consider it because the Player 2 mod with the single coil and the lipstick pickup is at like $1,050. In the white model, they do not offer it with a rosewood fingerboard. Fender, come on. I mean, this is a buyer that I'm going to buy the standard, okay? And I'm like, I kind of want better pickups. And I'll be willing to give you more of my money. Oh, the two Player 2 mod, I can't get it in rosewood fingerboard in the same color. I got to get black. I don't want black. I don't want a black guitar with a black. I don't want a black telly with a black pickguard or a white pickguard. I want an Olympic white telly with a rosewood fingerboard. And I can't get it. So I got to bypass that one and I got to go all the way up to the Fender Professional, which is at $1,800, okay, to get my Olympic white rosewood fingerboard. Well, at that price, I'll just buy the standard and I'll put custom shop Fender pickups in it. They're only $250. It's already got alpha pots in it. I'll spend $250 for pickups and I'll spend $30 for a CRL switch. I mean, that's a no-brainer. I'll have less than $800 on it versus $1,800. I won't have the skunk stripe, okay? And I won't have the Fender Deluxe tuners, but that's fine. I would probably not like the Fender Deluxe tuners anyway. I'd want to get, some really high-quality tuners since it's a non-locking nut guitar to start with. But I would be okay if they offered that in the Player 2 mod in white with the rosewood and the noiseless pickups. Take my money. Make it play as good as that standard, but give me the skunk stripe, give me the better tuners and the better pickups, and put me a real CRL switch on it, which they do, but they don't have it in a maple fingerboard. So they screwed themselves. Fender's got all these, Fender's the worst. They got this model, this tier. They've got a guitar at every $200 price point. The problem is they don't have every guitar at every price point. They need to eliminate the Player 2, the Professional. I think they got 6 product lines. They need to eliminate 3 of them and just move that other product line down or up and make models in a maple neck, rosewood neck, and give us some maybe ebony fingerboards. You're making that many guitars anyway, but just give me a nice standard, okay? The only thing I'd do on the standard, put a skunk stripe on it. Leave the pickups, leave everything the way it is, put the skunk stripe on it, and that's your base entry price. Then have your mid-tier, exact same guitar, put the noiseless pickups in it, okay? A little bit better tuner. Maybe have an option where you can either go with the more modern bridge or a vintage bridge.
Backwoods Billy said, I still don't know what fools are spending money on a brand name guitar, $1,000 or above, and modifications to it. Budget guitars, great mod platforms. And then he said brand snobs.
Well, I want to, Billy, if you haven't heard me say it before, there is a difference. I've done a lot of budget guitars. And when I was putting NYXLs on budget guitars, it was just, they were chewing up the frets. And these are budget guitars with stainless steel frets. So before anyone says, well, I got stainless steel frets that'll last forever, it's very cheap stainless steel fret. It's a cheap grade of stainless steel. I would say I work on them. I've cut a lot of stainless steel frets on Fireflies, Leo James, and cutting Jupe's frets on this Schecter, it was the same. Exact same hardness. I'm not lying to you. There's different grades of nickel. There's different grades of stainless steel. When you get a budget guitar and it's not stainless, it is a very cheap nickel fret, and they're going to wear fast. They're going to wear fast. If that's your only guitar and you're playing it 2 and 3 hours a night, it's not going to hold up. The fret, you're going to burn through the frets. The next thing are the tuners. There are a lot of these budget guitars, if you open up the tuners, there's plastic bushings in there, and that's how they're getting them to run so smooth, and they're packing them with grease. It's going to fail. They're just not a high quality tuner. The Ibanez tuners that were on this guitar, they're just a grade above. They're at least using brass bushings instead of the plastic, but it's still an inexpensive tuner. The budget tuners, there's a difference. There's plastic. The grade of the metallurgy in there, they're going to wear fast. It's just the nature of it. The next issue with budget guitars is the quality of the finish and the chrome plating. I have polished chrome on Fireflies, West Creeks, Leo James, and it takes very little to burn through the finish on these budget guitars. It's very thin plating. The components aren't deburred, okay, in a machine. They are by hand, because labor over there is so cheap. They just clean up the top edge by hand and then plate them. If you turn them over and you feel the back sides of the bridge, they're quite rough. At least when you get an Epiphone bridge or a Gibson bridge and you turn over the ABR, it's not a machined finish, but there's nothing sharp back there. They have cleaned it up. It's been deburred. It was put in a tumbler and it was deburred and then hand done and then plated. The plating sticker. So if you sweat a lot and sweat's corrosive, you're gonna notice it on the hardware on cheaper guitars.
Annoying Critic said, how do we know which guitar has which fret material?
The only way to really do it is you have to do a hardness test. The only reason I know is I'm cutting them with a fret file. And stainless steel, a real stainless steel fret will kill your tools. That's why a lot of luthiers say it's stainless steel. I don't want to mess with it. Send me your Firefly stainless steel. I don't care. I've done 50 of them down here in the basement. I'm still on the same fret file. Now, if I did that with a James Tyler, I would already been through 2 fret files. That's no lie. The James Tyler stainless steel, when they put it on, it's a high-grade hardened stainless steel. And when you polish it, you can see it in the sheen. When I polish Fireflies, I mean, don't get me wrong, they look nice. The problem is they tarnish quickly. And you can probably ask Devastator in the chat. I sent him a Firefly and I had those frets to a mirror finish when I sent it to him. So please, Devastator, put in the chat. Now, I want you to tell the truth. If they still look like glass mirrors, say, yes, Avery, they're still holding up. They look just like the day you sent it to me. Or say, no, they've tarnished and they're not near as shiny as they once were. And, you know, I can see string wear. So I'll leave it up to Devastator. That's an outside source telling you, and I would be curious to see what he says too. I just know when a customer brings a guitar back, and I've seen it, I can look at the fret and go, that this didn't hold a polish as well.
He said no, they're scuffed.
They're scuffed. Stainless steel shouldn't scuff. Now, how much are you playing it? Are you playing it every day for 15 minutes? Or are you playing it once a week? Because that does matter. The more you play it, you know, that's another thing. With nickel frets, if you play it, if you look at my PV, you'd swear that I polished those frets. The fret material is harder than the string. So the string is polishing the frets on the guitar. Those frets on that guitar, you can see your face in them. Because I've played it and played it and played it, the strings have polished the frets. It doesn't do that on cheaper fret wire because the fret wire is soft. So the string is cutting the fret. And NYXLs really cut your frets. And that's why I stopped buying them, because I was doing a lot of budget guitar stuff. And that string was destroying the frets on them.
He said here and there, not one of my more played.
There you go. Billy, dude, I'm 100% with you on it, but you've got to get past it's the same. It's not the same. There is a quality in the hardware. When you start, if you look at like a Firefly, it's got the Gibson square jack, take that jack in and out 20 times and look at your screws. Even if you use the right size screwdriver, the screws just don't hold up. They're really soft. You know, get yourself a nice Japanese industry standard screwdriver. There is a difference. Use that screwdriver and you're going to see wear on the screw. A higher grade instrument like a James Tyler, you know, a nice USA Gibson, Fender, or Kiesel, pick a company that uses nice hardware. You're going to see a difference when you take the screws in and out. Like Jupe's Schecter, okay? The screws on this pick guard have been out just by me 10 or 15 times, not including whatever Jupe did. But every one of these screws look brand new. There's no chips in the finish. There's no rough spots from me taking. Now, I'm using the right screwdriver too, but the screws are holding up. It's better hardware. And this was not an extremely expensive guitar from Schecter. This isn't a $3,000 Schecter. This is probably a $600 or $700 Schecter, I'm guessing. But the hardware on this guitar in its stock form was still better than West Creek, you know, Grote, Firefly, Steve Brown Sound, and all these other companies.
Billy said stainless can scratch. It's just more resistant.
It's not, it depends on the grade. It really. What Firefly is using, it's not as hard as a good nickel fret. It really isn't. I know. It's just not as hard as a good nickel fret. It's not as hard as the frets on my Vandenberg, and they're nickel.
Annoying Critic said, how do we know the Fender made in Indonesia has hard fret material?
It probably doesn't. It's going to be better than the Firefly. You know, it's going to be a medium grade fret material. What's that? Ascar or something that makes fret material? That's a top of the line fret material. It's extremely hard. If you buy the nickel, look at it, tells you the amount of nickel and the metallurgy of it before you. Some people are that far into it. They want to know exactly the makeup of this material, but you pay for it. You pay for it. I think it's Asgard is the name of the company. It's high-end fret wire. So if you fret your guitar with that and it's a high-grade nickel, it's going to last 3 times longer than a stainless steel Firefly. It's going to. I know that. I see the guitars come and go here. And I've had a couple Fireflies that I've played, and I see the fret wear on them, and I don't play near as much as I did 25 years ago. 25 years ago, 3 nights a week, my band was playing. We played 3 hours every night, okay? And then I practiced 2 nights a week, okay, at home. And then I had 1 night a week. It was a full week playing with the band. Every night of the week. It was at least getting an hour and a half of playtime. Times that by 15 years, that's the life that those nickel frets got me. Now, it needs a refret. They're done. But I guarantee you that budget guitar wouldn't make it a year and a half, 2 years with stainless steel frets. If it made it 3 years, I would be highly impressed. But just in the 6 months of me doing YouTube and playing them occasionally, this is a Firefly that I did a fret level on. I knew the crowning was perfect. And I look down and I see a flat arc, okay, in the fret. I could see the polish, and then I see a flat spot. And if you go back and watch my videos, I just leave a small line when I crown a fret. A lot of guys will leave that flat spot on their fret. I like to dome my fret, okay? A nice, easy round over. I can look down at the fret and I'm like, wow, in 6 months, I've got a 32nd of an inch flat spot in this fret from playing it. That's not good. But it's a $200 and $250 guitar. That's acceptable. Okay, does that kind of make sense? If you're wanting to buy inexpensive instruments and you have a bunch of them and you just want this sound or that sound, or you want a mod platform, I think it's fine. But that guitar is just not going to have the longevity, fretwear wise, than a higher price guitar. And we hope when we spend more money that the company is not cheaping out and putting substandard parts on it. That's when you got to look at guitars like Squire that's been out for 10 or 15 years. Ask the people that are playing it, how's the frets holding up? How are the electronics holding up? That's something that I can't test, okay? I don't have a machine to do hardness tests. And to do it, you got to put a dent on it. It's got to pressurize it with pressure. I mean, I guess we could test a fret on the 24th fret at the high E, put a little dent in the fret on every guitar right there, and I would go out and buy a hardness tester if that's something that you guys are interested in. And I think a lot of people would really start crying if we did that.
What?
And I would probably start crying if I did that.
What extra jumbo frets do you recommend for a 2002 Jackson USA Soloist?
I would look at that Ascar stuff or get on StewMac. You know, StewMac sells quality stuff. They do. StewMac stuff, it's quality stuff. And it's going to give you the hardness ratings. It's going to give you the width, the height. They've got a bunch of different fret material there. So I would look at StewMac. And the reason you might find that product somewhere else cheaper, okay? It could be a clone product. It could be this. You're buying it by the feet. I would trust StewMac because they're going to be sourcing that product direct from the manufacturer, and they're going to ensure that you're getting a quality component. Just like we were talking about caps. Yeah, you can buy caps cheap on Amazon, but is it going to be a good tolerance? Is it from a reputable manufacturer? I buy most of my parts, caps and stuff, from GuitarElectronics.com. I trust that site. I trust StewMac. It's another good place to get good quality parts that have good tolerances. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for something that has good tolerances, and they're sticking with the vendor. You know, Alpha makes good pots, CTS makes good pots, and Barnes makes good pots. I'm phasing out of CTX, even though I just used them in both of these guitars. They lend themselves, the CTS, if you want to do phase switching or trick wiring, the way the push-pull pot's made with the printed circuit board lends itself better to trick wiring versus the Barnes. If you're just doing simple phase or cutting out a coil, I think the Barnes is fine. But if you're doing something where you have phase and push-pull, like I did on this guitar, then the CTS is definitely the way to go. Because you could do phase and split based on your position of your switch and your coils. And I'm not going to say that you can't do that. I think you can with the Barnes, but you start having to put X wires across the terminals. The CTS on one side, they've already changed the routing, if that makes sense. They built that pot for manufacturers to do that kind of wiring. So for me, it's just a little easier to wire. And guys, it's about honesty. You know, I've still got Fireflies. Linnell's got a Firefly that I put Epiphone burst buckers in, and it's a great guitar. That was before Firefly jumped the shark and started putting ball-end frets on the guitar. It's got conventional frets. It's a great guitar. I'm not a big ball-end fret guy because the fret sits up on the neck, so you lose a little bit of fret width, and then it's domed. So then you lose a little bit more fret width. And I have a tendency of pulling the string off the edge of the fret, and then it gets hung up underneath the fret. I'm just not, I mean, you can fix it. But out of the box, it's 50-50 shot whether or not you're going to have one that hangs the strings or not. I've just gotten past it. I think it's a novelty thing. Just like Leo James and all these companies, it's about spec. It's not about quality. It's about spec. They know what you guys are looking for. It's got an Eco 5 pickups. Oh, yeah, an Eco 5. I've heard some pretty crappy Eco 5 pickups. I've heard some pretty crappy ceramic pickups. I've heard some pretty crappy Eco 2 pickups and 3s. But I've also heard really awesome ceramics, really awesome 5s. So don't fall for it has Eco. They can build a shit Eco pickup too. And believe me, they do. Next one, it's got locking tuners. Well, you can build a crappy locking tuner too. It'll slip. It's just a locking tuner. They'll still have the little plastic bushings in there. And then on the really cheap ones, the locker's made at a point, and what it ends up doing when you really crank it, it actually cuts and breaks the string inside. It doesn't allow it to continue. It actually cracks the center core of the string, and it'll break right on the other side of the locker, and that defeats the purpose of the locker. It does. And Geiger is bad for that. The Geikers will cut your string in half if you over tighten them, and it'll fail because it's not clamping the string properly. There's a difference. You know, they're using spec to get you to buy it. Oh, it's got like the Leo James we just reviewed for $209. I can't bust on that guitar too much. It's $209. But they're saying it's got a Floyd Rose. It's not. It's a Chinese clone, and it didn't return to zero. It was close. The best budget guitar we've reviewed on the channel was a Floyd Rose. It's the best we've reviewed, but it didn't return to zero. So if you're thinking that you're going to play that tremolo and it always comes back in tune perfectly, it's not. It's going to be out a couple cents. At $209, I'm not going to say anything. I'm surprised the guitar was as good as it was. That one didn't feel like the tuners were super cheap on it, but they don't feel good either. So they're cramming a ton of stuff in a really cheap package. They're saving money somewhere, okay? Somewhere they have to save money. So that's pretty much all I can say. There is a difference. It just comes down to if you play the guitar a lot, it's going to wear faster. It's the exact same thing like a Yugo. If anyone remembers Yugo, it was a cheap car. A lot of people bought them. I know guys that bought them. They would run them. They got 100,000 miles out of those things, running them back and forth the city. It blew up. They threw it away and bought another one. Sad news was after 3 years, 4 years, Yugo stopped making cars because people said they were trash. Well, it was a disposable car. If you were commuting with it and it was letting a lot of stop and go and you were just driving, it was a $2,500 car. You get 3 years out of it, that's cheap transportation. And people saw, I saw a ton of those things commuting back and forth to DC. It was good on gas. Like I said, when it broke, you just threw it away and bought another one. Look at it, it's the exact same thing. It's the exact same. When on a $200 budget guitar, if you have to refret it, is it worth paying a tech $300 to refret it? If you like the guitar, yes. In sensibility aspects, absolutely not. Because I could take that $300 and just buy another budget guitar. See what I mean? Just pull your electronics out of it, all your mods, and just buy another budget guitar for $250, $300, stick your stuff back in it, and throw the other one away in 2 years when the frets wear out, or 3 years. It's disposable. Because our labor rate has gotten expensive here. If your labor's more than the cost of the new one and you did the mods anyway, throw it away. Just buy another one, stick all your stuff back in it and play that one until the tuners fail or you've got better tuners. At that point, it just comes down until the neck either gives way and it's not stable, or you've wore out the frets. Pull your stuff out of it, just buy another one and move on. This guitar, I would consider this a disposable guitar. I bought it because I liked the way they played, and I'm sure that's not super hard fret material on this guitar. It's a decent fit and finish. And right now, this guitar cost me $450 for the guitar. I spent $65 on the Gotoh tuners. I spent $95 on this Hipshot bridge. And I spent $60 on the 2 pickups. And in reality, I didn't need to put the better bridge on it. The stock Ibanez bridge was fine. So in reality, you could do this guitar with the better tuners than this for about $130. But I wanted the Hipshot bridge. I wanted the extra mass. And I kind of feel it. I'm not going to say it's night and day difference, but I can hear that there's a difference in the sustain of the guitar. So... that's pretty good. I got no complaints whatsoever. I never hold a darn note that long anyway. So it's got good sustain. I like the way it plays. So I'm gonna call this one a winner. And if you're just coming in, well, we're gonna do it. I see we got some new people. We're gonna do a test. If you look at the pool, which sounds better, the Seymour Duncan Jason Becker, or this guitar, which has Guitar Head's hex buckers. So I'm going to play this one real quick. I'm going to unplug it and then switch to that guitar, and then please go up and vote on which one you think sounds better.
Wi-
So please go up and vote which one sounds better. This
Wicked.
is the Jason Becker, and the other one had the guitar heads in it.
Wicked Fester said, put the intermission screen up and play so they can't see what you're playing and watch the poll change.
I can't. My intermission screen, I would have to modify it because the intermission screen cuts the mics. That way we can move stuff around in the room. Intermission's a break for you guys, but usually we're switching stuff around in here. So it shuts the cameras off, shuts the mics off, and then shuts all the feeds off. I can make that change in the future, but I have to go into OBS and modify that screen, if that makes sense. The Ibanez has the guitar head pickups. So if you all go up, please vote in the poll. Which one do you think sounded better? The Schecter has the Jason Becker pickup in it, and the Ibanez had the guitar head Hexbucker in it.
Does that Schecter have a Kaler?
The Schecter has one of my bridges that I built in it. It's based off of Floyd Rose. It's a Floyd Rose-based system, but it was a custom bridge that I built for Jupe. It's a stupid bridge. If you want to build this bridge, we have a couple different videos on how to build a better bridge. Just go under live and then look for the video, how to build a better Floyd Rose. We build this bridge and we build a cheaper alternative, which is still better than the standard FR1000 bridge. And both are better than the German, the older German bridge. Far better bridge. This is a kick butt bridge that's in this guitar. That guitar, I don't even have the locking nut locked, and it holds tune. So I wouldn't even lock the lockers. I'm pretty crazy with it, and it's not even locked, and it holds tune. Cool. So as of right now, we have the Jason Becker at 70%, and the guitar heads is at 30%. I'd say that's a pretty honest evaluation, guys. This channel's about honesty. And I'm going to agree with the poll right now. I think the smoothness of the Jason Becker is a little better, and the articulation's a little better. It just, but I'm going to lean that for what I'm using this guitar for, the guitar heads is a better fit for this guitar because I want something that has more bite and more attack. So in this case, I'm liking this, but I do like this pickup. I think I'm going to put it in my Pacifica. That's a more smoother guitar, if that makes sense. I'm wanting a lot of attack on this guitar. That's why I did it, for the attack. So if you haven't voted, please go up and vote right now. We're going to end the poll here shortly. We've done what the stream was supposed to do. I wanted to show the difference. I finished the guitar today. And just so you guys are here, if you pull this push-pull, it takes the humbucker right here and turns it into a single coil. but it's still using 1/3 of this coil. So it's still noise canceling, and the volume doesn't drop like a single coil, okay? When you pull this one, that does the exact same thing to this pickup, okay? In this position, we have this pickup, and then, like I said, you can split the coil. In number 2 position, okay, it throws this pickup out of phase to this pickup. And you can still do the push-pulls. So I can throw this pickup out of phase with this one as a single coil, or out of phase as a humbucker to this one. In 3rd position, it's both pickups, and you have your choice. Humbucker single, humbucker, or humbucker single. In this position, it does the exact opposite. It throws this pickup out of phase to this one, and then you could split it as well. And then in this position, it's this humbucker, and then you can split it to a single coil, or a coil tap. It's a coil tap.
Does the PV cab sound better than the Fender?
The Fender's a modeling amp, and I think the GTX 100's a nice amp. That's Linnell's little amp. So let me turn the screen on over there. So you can see the Fender is on the lower corner right there. I like that amp, but it's a modeling amp. So out of all these amps, my favorite is my rack on the right. Second favorite is my Egnator. And my SWR below that that's a kick butt amp too. That's my bass amp. Fender bought SWR. If you're not familiar with SWR, look them up. They made awesome products. That's why Fender bought them, because they were actually really starting to eat away at Fender's profits. And this one's made, there's a 1U rack in the bottom of it that was made into the unit, so you could do that. And I have an Alesis Quadriverb in it. So that was my bass rig when I played out live. And yes, I did play bass in a couple bands. Sometimes I just wanted to play. So if there wasn't a spot for a guitar player, I'd play the bass. And that's not putting anything under bass players. I'm not a bass player, but I tried to do more than just rudimentary stuff. I like bass. I think bass is an awesome instrument.
Blue Matrix says we want to see pics of Mr. Inspector with a mullet.
That would be something you'd have to ask Linnell and see if she has any pictures of me back then. I don't know if she does or not. Probably not.
I don't think so.
Yeah. I think I destroyed all those.
I could always ask her cousin.
That's cheating. Oh, I don't know about that one. All right, well, we'll dig up some mullet pictures of me in post. I look pretty funny looking. I had hair down past my butt, and this was only to right here. So it was definitely the full-fledged mullet. It was the sign of the times, guys. All right, I'm going to close the poll. Let me go over to the poll window. So hopefully it has put that up, what the poll total was. It was at 3366. 66% of the people liked the Jason Becker, and 33% of the people liked the Guitar Heads pickup. So that was the poll result. There it is, 67-33. And we had 21 votes. So that's not bad. Like I said, this channel is about honesty. And just to be completely transparent, the Jason Becker is a $100 pickup, and the Guitar Head pickup's about a $37 pickup. So keep that in mind as well, because we're trying to find stuff that's good, that doesn't cost us an arm and a leg. So I think if you're looking for a good pickup and you don't want to spend $100 for a single pickup, I definitely think the Guitar Heads makes a heck of a pickup. $60 a set for the, and I didn't even, now if you came in at the beginning of the stream, I did all the split coils and the phasing. I love this guitar in the split coil. Actually, let's do that. The one thing I love the most that this thing really outshines. Oh, thank you, Juke. I think this outshines the Jason Becker, and it's just because they didn't wire the Jason Becker this way. So when it's a coil tap on this one. So 1/3 of the way through the winds, they do a tap. So I'm going to turn on and off. I'm going to turn off this mic, and you're going to see me pull the thing, and then that's when it's doing the coil tap. It's noisy. I am 100% happy with that, guys. I mean, you know, when we mod guitars, we kind of throw darts. We hope that we're buying the right parts, and when we get it done, we're happy. And believe me, I've modded some, and it's kind of like, ugh, I think I wasted my money. I don't like these pickups, you know. And you're like, ugh, I spent all this money, and I'm not digging it. I'm not gelling with it. This one, I think I did a good job. The tuners aren't slipping. Of course, they're high-end Gotoh tuners. Of course, they're nice. Hipshot, how can you go wrong with Hipshot bridge and guitar head pickups? It's going to be well loved. I'm going to play the frets off that guitar. That's why I bought it, to play it. And if I dent it and scratch it and beat it up, that's fine. I bought this as my beater guitar, and I plan on beating it. That's what I'm going to do with it. Some of my other guitars, you know, I'm a little picky. This one, I just want to dig in and just play it like I stole it, like it's not my guitar. If you don't think it makes a difference, trust me. The way you attack the guitar and the way you manhandle that guitar on bending the notes and the aggressive way of playing, it will change the tone of what you hear in your room. Believe me, if you're looking like, how's Avery getting that sound? A lot of it's not necessarily the amp, It's the way you're attacking that guitar. It's the aggression and the pick angle and the attack makes all the difference in the world. The old saying, tone is in the fingers. I kind of agree with that. I never figured that out until a couple years ago. You can make your amp really sound differently the way you play the instrument. This is a phenomenal instrument. The 6-string guitar, it's one of those things, I don't care what guitar player you talk to, whether it's Greg Howell, Steve Vai, if you ask them, there's still something that they're wanting to learn and something that they're struggling to get. It's an instrument that it doesn't matter how long you play it, there's going to be something that you're trying to learn, something that you're wanting to make that thing do. And I don't care where you are in that journey, and you might go, when I get here, I'm going to be happy. Guess what? When you get there, you're going to want to, I want to learn this. I want to learn that. It's a never-ending journey. All right. Thank you, Mad Hatter. Thank you so much. I want to thank everybody for coming into the stream. If you're new, we're trying to be the best YouTube channel as far as guitar reviews, and we're also trying to be the most honest YouTube channel. We compare expensive stuff versus inexpensive stuff, whether it's budget guitars, medium price guitar, high-end guitars, pickups, big $10,000 rack amps versus $350 modeling amps. And there's a place for them all. Believe me, I have it all right here. The $350, the little $99 Friedman BE Mini. I've got an Ignator, which is my new, clean monstrosity amp, and a rack amp. And I like playing them all. I can't say that any of them suck. Definitely can't say that about my Yamaha or my little Friedman BE. I like them all. They're kick-ass amps. Especially this little Friedman BE that I got at Christmas for $99. If you bought that thing for $99, you stole it. I mean, the Friedman Mini BE, $99. It's stupid. I don't know. I think they're $300 normally. But at Christmas, they were on sale for $99. I bought one. Love that little thing. All right, guys. Please go down, hit the thumbs up button. Consider subscribing. I work really hard here. And if you want, continue the party over at Discord. If you work on guitars, you're a sound guy, you're a bass player, I don't care what you're doing, post what you're working on or post your band, whatever you want to do, there's a room over there. If you have equipment that you're trying to sell, we have a sell room. So put pictures of what you're trying to sell, and everyone in Discord is going to go in there and look at it. And there's no commission fees, no nothing. You're just dealing with the person on the other end that you're talking to. It's just a place that other musicians can look at what you have for sale. Maybe you bought something new, or maybe you just didn't jive with it, and someone else, it needs a new home. So that's a place to do it. And don't forget, we're giving, real quick before everyone goes, the guitar giveaway. Let me show it to everybody. We give a guitar away here every 2 months. And this month, we have a Gretsch. It's a beautiful Gretsch. Check that thing out. And this is a playing monster, guys. It really is. This is a nice guitar. I've played it a couple times. We did a full review on this guitar, so go check out the review. All you have to do to win this guitar is be publicly subscribed to this channel, and then Devastator's going to put a link in the chat. You need to go over to Discord, and we have the guitar giveaway room. You need to post in that room and say, please enter me in to win this month's Gretsch. And if your name is different on Discord than it is on YouTube, please put your YouTube name in the Discord under I go by such and such on YouTube. That way we can verify that you're publicly subscribed.
Jupe said your new hairdo is on Discord, Avery.
I did what?
Your new hairdo is on Discord.
Oh, they AI my hairdo?
It's in general.
Yeah, if you want a good joke, guys, there's some pretty funny AI stuff on Discord too. Like Joe Biden sniffing my hair. Pretty funny stuff. And you get the gig bag. So, about a $350, okay, because the guitar is $319, gig bag's $30 plus tax. So we're going to say it's a $400 giveaway. Publicly subscribe to go over to Discord. You can't win unless you enter, and it's free. I mean, how can you beat that? It's free. I'm not charging you guys. There's no membership fees. There's none of that crap here. I work for a living. I make my living building things. YouTube, I do for fun. And I'm trying to build a nice community here where musicians can get together and share ideas, concepts, and what they've found works for them. You know, I think we've done that. Okay? All right, guitar giveaway. If you gave a super chat, I want to say thank you. That's what funds the channel, and that's what allows the channel to buy guitars like that. Last plug of the evening. Thank you, Shenandoah Music in Winchester, Virginia, for giving us 10% off the map price of that guitar. It does help us. It helps what you guys give us. It goes a little bit further to buy a little bit nicer instrument, okay? So give those guys a shout out. If you're in the Shenandoah Valley area, Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, give them a call. Also go to their Reverb. They have a site on Reverb. Even though it says those are used, those guitars are on the wall right now. They're just trying to blow them out. So go check it out. And if you talk to them on the phone, tell them Avery at MusicNGear sent you. I don't get a penny. There's no commission. They're just good friends. I've been doing business at Shenandoah for over 35 years. So it's family owned and operated. I like that. And they don't tell me what to say when I do a guitar review. If I think it's a POS, they tell me, call it a POS. All right, guys, thank you so much. We're going to do our 5-minute ending window. And I worked on so many guitars the last couple of nights. No, I have not done the Sunday night ending window. So we're gonna do the Saturday night ending window. It's 5 minutes for everyone to close up the chat. Thanks again if you gave a super chat. It means the world to me. And thanks for everyone coming into the chat. You guys, I mean, really, you guys is what makes the stream. It allows me to look over at the chat, see what's going on. And you guys can laugh at me. How good did I do during Linnell's absence? I don't think I did too bad, but it was a little better once Linnell got in because she could get me on track on any questions. All right, guys, thanks again. And I'll see everyone Thursday night. Ooh, I think it's this one.